and welcome back
Hello.
to the next episode of Emrae, episode 14. Can't believe we've got so many so far. 14 episodes.
Really?
Yeah, we're going strong.
Wait,
As always,
we started level 3.
Yeah, you started at 3. As always, I am Skexxies, your GM, DM, Game Master, God, whatever you want to call me. I'll take it all. With us, as always, is Jim Dorham, Jin Draprax, our Dragonborn Sorcerer, aka Zach. Leganor, the human some fighter, mostly bard, aka Jeff. And Wallace Stoneguard, our human detective fighter, aka Mike. Aka Merwin. Aka Spock. Aka Squirrel. Aka Earl the Squirrel. AKA.
I have a lot of nicknames.
We just call him Mr. Moniker.
We just add to the list. Just add to the list.
Very meta. I like
it. When we last left the party, we actually enjoyed kind of a relaxing evening. We finally made our way back from our...
Assuming you remembered it.
Yeah, we finally made our way back from the towering inferno that we turned the bandit camp into.
That won't have any consequences.
We arrived back at the Sawtooth Inn, and everyone seemed to have a nice celebratory evening. A raucous good time was had by many, though Jin could tell you nothing about it as he passed out drunk in the bushes. Jeff, or Leganor, before he went to bed, decided to not overdrink, and deftly, stealthily, magically was able to recover what the party believes to be the scroll that contains the Dance of the Desert. Which they were tasked to bring back to Sturgis.
And I did not codpiece block anyone. That was the best part.
That's very true. He had a real bro moment. He let bygones be bygones.
Avoider at all.
Wallace also narrowly escaped an interesting roleplay moment, which I'm glad I didn't have to enact. When
we're not stereotypical nerds that do sex during D&D. No, that never happens.
Listen, we didn't really do it. I think I tastefully danced around it.
I'm gonna let the internet decide that one.
Yeah, all one of them. There's literally a dozen of us. Anyway, so it's now morning. The party leveled up overnight, and go. Actually, I think when we last broke, everybody just woke up in their positions and felt stronger, and so everyone's leveled up and it's morning.
Yeah, I think I'm still in a bush.
I am exactly on the map where I wanted to be. I woke up from an admittedly comfortable pillow and meandered over to the table, and I'm just waiting for everybody else to show up. Hopefully with some food and water and maybe even a shot of something to get over this hangover.
Oh, I should remove these. Nope. Actually.
So it's 6, 7 a.m., early morning, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like first light, first birds. It's, 6-ish.
I'm gonna open up my window and look out, take the air. Do I see anyone or anything, or is it just a nice crisp morning in the fall?
Yeah, so before we broke, you noticed Jin below, and I think you dumped your wash basin on him.
That's right.
Yeah.
Is he still down there right now?
Yeah, that's when we broke.
Bush.
Okay. In addition to I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop my backpack out the window, not like throw it, but just kind of reach out and just let it plop.
No, this is a separate backpack than the backpack you stashed out in the woods with the stuff that you stole from the guy?
So the stolen stuff is already in the woods, but in my very finite wisdom score of 11, I also forgot to stash the sash and the other stuff, the artifacts. And so I spent the better part of the evening having bad dreams about, someone's going to search my bag for a scroll and find something even way more.
Yeah. Hey, you stole this guy's wallet. What are you doing with the Mona Lisa?
Yeah, exactly. So I think I look, and then of course, if I don't see anyone, I'm going to drop the bag and then kind of casually head downstairs. And as I'm passing by Sveth, I assume, is he still manning the bar, or is it someone else now?
It's so early morning that Sveth hasn't actually shown.
Okay,
it,
so I'm gonna just casually walk outside.
if you
If
look
there's
if you
anyone
look
that
at the map, aside from you, those are the only 2 people you see in the room.
I see complete darkness. I don't see anything.
What?
Yeah.
But
I
But
mean, I
one
can see
thing.
the outline of the room, but it looks like dynamic lighting says I shouldn't see anything. I just see it's all monochrome.
That's not what I'm seeing.
Have him reload.
Are you sure,
Like,
Jeff?
yeah, I'll refresh the page. But
Yeah, I've had to do that before.
anyway, the point is, if no one directly addresses me as I'm heading outside, I'm just gonna go and.
I mean, I'll wave at you.
Are you awake? Are you there
Yeah.
now?
I mean, I can just turn dynamic lighting off on this map. It's not really required.
Oh, here we go.
So,
oh, okay. So I see Farah and there's Wallace.
Oh, okay, great. So you were supposed to see.
Okay. So, Wallace, last night was an entertaining one, wasn't it?
Just can you find me some water? Just don't just give me just. I'm ready to go. I just want to
Yeah. Why don't you get your stuff together? Our scaly friend didn't even make it back inside the tavern last night, so I'm about to go get him real quick.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you weren't the only one that rested your head between a rock and a hard place last night, you might say. So,
I don't have the.
don't worry about it, Wallace. You don't
Coffee.
have to tell any lies. Everyone saw what they saw.
Why
With that, I head outside.
Why would I lie? What? Thing is, what?
You hear me laughing like that, too. I know exactly what this is like.
Wait,
This is like everything short of the Sharpie on your forehead right now. In fact, as I'm leaving the room, I pull out the flute and I just do a little Willy Wonka like.
So
Why?
Jin, you woke up. It rained very heavily for a moment and stopped immediately, and then a satchel fell from above and landed right next to your head.
Let me know when I get there.
Well, I think I would have looked up. I think I looked up at him pouring the water out. Is it morning? Okay. What happened? Where am I? I guess at this point I'll just start kind of like ever so slowly stumbling my way back towards the door.
Okay. Then you
That's all,
probably
really.
arrive to the door just as Jeff is on his way out.
Is he in front of me now?
Where are you?
I'll put you both where you should be.
Okay, there you go.
All right, so I step outside. Oh, hey, hey, Jin. Yeah, you're looking a little worse for wear. Hey, between you and me, saving the embarrassment of purging yourself in front of Wallace, I can show you a technique we learned back when I was living on the streets, where you basically just you find a little stick and you just kind of get the contents of last night out, and then you can have a nice good breakfast and we'll be on our way. But
Healing touch.
Yeah.
Would that would that get rid of a hangover?
No, because you're not damaged. You're just hungover.
It's a status ailment, so unless
Yeah.
you got something that can cure
Oh, okay.
poison.
Yeah, right.
No.
All right, fair enough. And I guess it wouldn't do anything.
So I carry him along, kind of one arm over the shoulder, and
You're carrying him inside?
no. So I'm trying to have a good reason to go back out to the tree line without resorting to magic or anything like that.
Oh, I see.
So,
All right. So as you're lifting him up, and you're right outside the door, and you're having this conversation, you notice walking towards the door, out of the corner of your eye, you spy 2 familiar figures.
Blackguard.
One of them is Sveth, the barman,
Mm-hmm.
and directly behind him, both moving at a fairly quick clip, is a very familiar-looking armored black and white knight of sorts.
Hmm.
What's their, at a quick glance, what's their demeanor? Do they mean business, or is it?
Make an insight check.
I had my character sheet open. Oh, I'll send you first. Insight check.
Yeah. Sveth doesn't seem upset. He's just kind of like moving at a quick pace.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then with Jin over my shoulder, step aside from the door to let them pass, and just kind of sit there and exchange. Hey, it's Seth. Good to see you. And
So Sveth
look at the.
Sveth kind of like he nods at you, but he's not really making a lot of eye contact, and he moves in to the bar or the inn. And when the black and white cloaked knight figure approaches, they stop at you and stare at the two of you for a beat, say nothing, and continues in. Fully armored, so face covered. You can't,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we recognize the armor. We don't know who's underneath it. Okay.
Correct. You just recognize the armor, exactly.
So he get the once over, like, who are these guys or whatever his intentions might be, and seeing as he doesn't stop us, I'm definitely at this point I'm gonna start carrying Jin. Like, come on, hey, come on, let's not get you sick in front of whatever's going on right here.
So you're taking him off into the woods at this point?
I'm first taking him back out to get my pack, and then I'm gonna take him from there to the tree line, and then.
All right. I'm gonna move you two over here, and then Wallace, you see, not 2 seconds after Leganor leaves, you see Sveth and what appears to be a blackguard enter the inn.
Vern.
Do you say that?
No. I was going into your. I was trying to remember the guy's name.
Oh, I would have told you.
So yeah, I mean, well, let me know if I can do this. I'm gonna try to see if I can remember literally like small little nuances to how Vern like held himself and walked, and like was he like? Because I remember he was very sad. Like, could I just tell from like the guy's body language like it might be Vern, or like no, this is clearly somebody different.
Make an investigation check.
Oh, you're too nice. Playing to my strengths.
Well, that's the check anyone would make for what you're doing.
I am hungover.
You are very hungover, and when you think of Vern, all you can remember is his teary-eyed face with his, kneeling and sitting on the bed in your office.
That was a nice thought.
Which, this looks nothing like that.
Okay, clearly. So I'm.
Oh wait, what you can tell is, he's not like a super short or a super fat blackguard. They look, it's not obvious that it's definitely not Vern. That's the most I'll give you.
Yeah, that's fine. I probably would have been, as soon as Seth walked in the door, I might have been like, "Oh, hey, can you?" And then I would have seen the blackguard like.
So.
And I'm gonna let this play out.
Yeah, Sveth kind of walks past you, acknowledges your existence, but doesn't stop the chat. And the blackguard steps in the door, like shoulder first, like he was just looking behind him, and then turns in, like you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then when he turns and when he sees you, he pauses for a beat as well. Or they pause for a beat as well, and well, I guess you would tell that it's not female armor. He pauses for a beat as well and follows Sveth over to what is his de facto office, which is all the stuff behind the bar.
I mean, with that investigation roll, I might have thought it was an orc. So.
Yes.
Or a halfling.
Simply, well, that investigation roll was about what you remember of Vern. So basically,
Yeah, that's fine.
that roll just means you don't remember anything about his demeanor.
All
Quick,
good.
quick question, Jim. This office, I assume there's a window. Is there any chance
It's
that I'm
it's not
passing-
it's not an office. The behind
Oh.
the bar area is his de facto office.
Oh, I see. Like the
Yeah.
little cellar.
Just
pantry
just
kind of
the
area.
space behind. He's got his register and his ledgers and his stuff and his
Alright,
safe and all that
alright.
stuff is behind the bar. So yeah, so Wallace is sitting there. Sveth and the Blackguard are chatting about something. Sveth pulls out a stack of loosely bound papers, like a freehand book, like a rope bound, string bound pamphlet book.
Okay.
And he's flipping through and he's pointing things out, and they're chit chatting with muffled voices, just talking to themselves.
Okay, so I can't hear them.
Not unless you were to get closer.
I imagine it'd be fairly quiet in there, but and they're just
Oh,
basically they're
sorry.
just talking around
All-
Farah.
I was gonna say, I forgot about. Also, when they get there, Sveth rouses Farah and ushers her away. She groggily raises, stumbles, doesn't really even look in your direction. She's still half in the bag, and stumbles around the corner and disappears.
Okay.
And then everything I said happens with them chit chatting and talking in muffled voices. Let me see if I can get a token for Sveth. I don't know if I have it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna move.
Okay.
I'm not interested enough to move, and I'm also just groggy and
Okay.
hungover and tired and hungry.
Yeah, so they're chatting, they're pointing at peas and carrots. And this seems to go on for a little while. We'll flip back over to Jeff and Jin.
Hey,
Like an
what do we do?
origin.
You want? Should we grab Wallace and head out?
As I'm dragging him along, I say, "Yes, I need you to pretend like you're a bit unwell for a little longer, so I can get to the tree line and stash the rest of these relics, so that if anyone searches us before we leave town, we got nothing to hide."
That shouldn't be a problem.
Of course, yeah. Let's get you to the tree line, my friend, and swoop up the rucksack, and yeah, head to again, kind of looking over my shoulder a little bit, like no one's really watching or paying attention to us, right? And come on, friend. And yeah, because we have manners, we're gonna take him out of the sight of the wonderful people of Sawtooth as he retches out all the ale from last night. And while he's doing that, I'm going to go to my dead drop even more carefully and take the sash, the journal, and the sash, the journal. Oh, wait, it was just those two and then the scroll, right? Those are the three things we needed.
The little stone.
Oh, the three things you need for Sturgis are the... Oh, well, you tell me.
We have access to
The
that.
tome, and the tear. That's it, the tear. Yes. So, okay, so the tome, the sash, and the tear I place with the scroll of what we presume is the Dance of the Desert, and put those in the dead drop spot, and then
So you bring all three items together in close proximity to each other?
Oh, that's an interesting question for the DM to ask.
Whoa,
Just saying,
that's
you're
ominous.
you're putting the tear and the tome in the scroll case. That's what you just said. That's what you just said. That's what you just said.
I didn't say.
All right.
To be fair, your character would have no idea that that was a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair too, there was a moment when they were all pretty close from last night, but I'm not putting them. I'm not touching them together. It's like there's a dead drop spot, and here's the tome, and here's the tear, and here's the scroll, and here's the sash on top of it.
Gotcha.
So yes, close, but not in the scroll.
Okay. There's also, sometimes the DM just asks random questions to keep you guys on your toes.
Red herring.
Sure.
I don't want every time I get excited to always indicate that something bad's gonna happen. I gotta keep you thinking.
Throwing out random false positives.
Wait. What tree did you step on? Yeah. No, yeah, nothing happens.
Roll a perception check. You do not see a pair of eyes closing ready.
Yeah, nothing happens. But Jin, I want you to make a Constitution check at disadvantage.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
No whammy.
And the DC on this is going to be 15.
At disadvantage.
Oof.
Good luck. Yeah, no.
All right. So you are in fact retching and vomiting,
Ooh.
and therefore you don't need to roll a perception check to see if you notice Jeff do all these things.
Of course.
Because I just don't see it.
Right. So because you're vomiting, all this happens and you have no idea.
So when I get back up to my friend, I'll stand by. I guess I'll hold his tail up while he's sitting.
That's a weird thing to hold up.
What are you looking at?
Hair. It's not like grab him by his little lizard ear. I don't know. Yeah,
Hold
so
back
I'll
your
sit there.
scales. What?
Yeah, right.
I'll have the wine. I'll have the water skin ready to go. Once he's kind of oof. There's the brown ale. Yeah.
Like there's dinner.
Yeah.
I don't even know when I ate that.
Once he's purged and he's got a bit more, he's got some water in the belly. He's hey, we should probably get back and get Wallace. And friendly town. Let's not stay until it gets
right.
too friendly.
Pause. You guys are off in the woods, so positionally you're like over here somewhere.
Okay.
Back to Mike while all this is going on. So the Blackguard and Sveth are chit-chatting, like I said. Farah went groggily around the corner and disappeared. A couple minutes into their conversation, in through the door walk two more people dressed as Blackguards, who sort of, they come in. One of them walks over to the other Blackguard, whispers in their ear. The second one stands by the door. The two chit-chat. And then the second one comes back over to the other one by the door. So there's still the one at the bar, and the other two are now by the door. They look around. They chat. They whisper something to each other. One of them by the door goes outside the door and exits again. The other one goes deeper in, over to here around the corner, and disappears around the corner.
Are there any in the room still?
There's still the one by the bar. One of them that just came in walked back out the door. One went around the corner. A couple minutes later, you see him emerge back over here again, and now he's standing by the fireplace.
All right.
I really should come up with some kind of tokens. No, it's all, it can be in our head. That's fine.
I mean, at this point, I'll just... And they're all covered faces, right? I can't...
Yeah, they all have that
tails
same,
there. Okay.
full helm with just a little slit.
Okay. I can't make heads or tails there.
And they all are very similar build. I mean, obviously, they're not identical. It's not like they're clones.
Right.
But they're all fit. It'd be like 3 random Marines with their faces covered. They all kind of look the same.
All right. I'll
Still here.
saunter over to the bar and try to see if I can at least get Sveth's attention and just say, like, hey, do you mind if I help myself to some water somewhere?
Yeah, so as you approach, Sveth,
Okay.
As you're walking, Sveth catches your eye, and he gives you like a...
Oh, okay.
look.
No, I'll stop then and...
Seeing this, the Blackguard he's talking to wheels around and looks at you, and in an unfamiliar voice, you hear a man say, "Just have a seat at that table. I'll be speaking with you in a moment. Please stay here."
May I at least get some water?
And he looks to Sveth, who's like, "Yeah," and he nods. And Sveth hands you a pitcher of water, which he puts on the bar end.
I'll walk over, pick it up, grab a glass. Thank yous. Sit back down.
Leganor and Jin, as you return to roughly here-ish.
I do have one question.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a law enforcement guy. That's kind of what I did for 15 years.
Did you pick like a background?
Yeah, investigator. My experience in enforcing the law and dealing with lawbreakers gives me a feel for local laws and criminals. I can easily find the local outposts of the Watch Guard, their similar organization, just easily pick out the dens of criminal activity in the community. I am far more likely to be welcome in a former locations rather than the latter, however, clearly. So, but like, basically, like, does it?
Yeah, like professional courtesy.
I'm getting a sense that it's like looks like they're treating this like a crime scene, basically. Like, am I getting that vibe?
Yeah, you're getting the sense that there's a bunch of blackguards here, and there's an investigation of something occurring. That's
Okay.
kind of the feeling that you get.
Okay, I'll sit back down and wait my turn, because
as Jin and Leganor
done wrong.
begin to return to the inn, you see a blackguard standing watch outside the door, as well as coming up the street, a like armored wagon pulled by 4-horse with blackguard symbols all over it, two men in the driver's seats, and a couple of blackguards like on foot, one randomly on horse. It's like a whole blackguard platoon with wagon.
With a prison wagon.
Can I see if they're all within a 20-foot radius circle?
A 20-foot radius circle. No, it's more spread out than that.
Just checking.
The moment they're all within the radius of one fireball. I thought that'd be a default for Sparkles. Just let me know if any time everybody I know is within a fireball.
Everyone I know.
Just let me know. Everybody I see is like, you happen to see that they're inside the range of a fireball. I won't do anything with this time. Maybe next time.
We should call him Jin Mad Dog Mattis, because he has a plan to kill everyone that he meets.
So you guys see all that activity.
What do you think this is? That's you. Like, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think these guys are doing?
Do they see us yet? You said there's a guy at the door, right? So are we basically, and there's guys outside? Or
I mean, yeah, you're exiting the tree line. You are currently behind this tree, and you see a number of blackguards. Not only the one standing out the door, but this road heads south on this map, and there's like a squadron of sorts. You got a wagon pulled by horses, a couple on horse solo, a couple on foot.
Okay, I guess what I'm asking is, it's reasonable to assume that at least one pair of eyes is on us. Like,
you tell me. I'm not gonna tell you what to assume.
I mean, should I make a perception check then? Like, does anyone, as I see them, do any of them see you?
So you're trying to see if anyone has made eye contact with you?
Yes. Have they seen us coming from the tree line?
No one has made eye contact with you because they're all covered faces, so you wouldn't know that anyway.
Okay, so as soon as I see them, I still get the idea. It's probably not. I'm not trying to fight any blackguard, and they're already organized, and we have no idea what's going on. So I'm not about to, as much as he might talk a little too much at times, I'm not about to hightail it and leave Wallace to himself to explain why his two friends ditched him. So,
yep. Plus, at this time, we have no reason to believe they're after us.
So I turn to Jin, and all I say is, no matter what they ask, tell them that you were sick and that I was helping you to take care, to take care of business, or whatever you want to call it. Like, you were...
My money's on Varen.
Anyway, I just look at Jin and say something to the effect of, play it cool. Let me do the talking.
Okay.
And with that, I help him back to the, kind of confidently but not arrogantly walk up to the guard. And, hey, how how you doing? Can we get by you there or get some breakfast?
Yeah, he's not
My
barring the
friends
way.
would-
He's just kind of standing there.
All right, and you do a little like, huh, all right, a little tip the cap.
So when you approach, again, he's not barring your way or limiting your inhibiting your movement.
Sure.
But he does approach you and he says, "Do you have business here?"
We do, and we have guests of this inn.
You're a guest. I see.
We're just last night there was a bit of drinking involved all around, and my friend here.
That's fine. I don't need your whole story. Just make your way in.
Of course. You. And with that,
Thanks.
So as you enter, you see. I'll move you guys. Yeah, you guys can enter. You see a blackguard standing over here with his back to the wall by the fireplace. You see a blackguard here talking with Sveth. You see Wallace sitting over here. Sorry, Wallace, I still have your old token because it was still left over from a previous time we used this map.
Hey, gents, I got water.
Oh, I stumble. I sit down in this. I heavily sit in the seat and just.
I help him slump down, and then I'll pop over here to my chair.
Chug some water.
Well, so I have a cup and 2 pitchers, so I'm gonna get up to go to the bar to try to get 2 more cups.
I just grab one of the pitchers and
2
start
more
drinking.
cups and another pitcher.
Yeah, the blackguard allows you to do that.
Okay, just get another pitcher or 2 more cups, bring it back. See that Sparkles is already guzzling down one of the pitchers. Like, hand the other cup to Fingers, and
All right.
proceed to wait to see how this plays out.
What plays out is the following. A couple more blackguard enter. You hear sound outside as horses are being posted and guys are milling about. And eventually in walks a rather tall blackguard in more shapely looking armor. And she walks into the middle of the room and addresses everyone.
Which is the 3 of us and
Which
Sveth.
is the 3 of you, Sveth. Oh, sorry, I skipped a step. Eventually, also, Farah returns with the rest of the wild men, and I'm not going to pull all their tokens out. Eventually, Farah returns with the rest of the wild men and all of the other scholars and guests of the inn. So all of the residents, including your band, are all now in the tavern, seated, relaxed, and in walks this behemoth of a woman.
Jim, if possible, I'm sizing up the whole room. People we know, people we don't know, just to get a read on, is anyone kind of eyeballing us a little more than the rest, or is everyone here kind of going, what's going on?
Well, again, you can't see who's eyeballing anybody because they all have these covered helmets.
Well, I mean, Farah and the wild men, them too. Anyone that's in the room with us.
Sure, I can let you do that, Mike.
Is the lady... Well, Basically, I'm going to keep doing that to all the blackguard around me to see if they're higher level than me or not, and I'll definitely try to do it to the lady.
So you're trying to find out fighter class levels, if any, and what? Because you tell me the 2 things you're trying to learn.
Total class... let's go with armor classes and fighter class levels.
Fighter class levels and armor class. Okay. Yeah, as you're sitting there surveying the situation, what you're noticing is most of the standard-looking blackguard folk who are milling about appear to be roughly level 8 or 9 fighters. And the lady appears to be like a level 15 fighter.
Okay.
All of them with the armor they're wearing and their capabilities, you would wager are AC 18 or better.
Okay.
Yeah, these are well-seasoned, heavily trained, heavily armored folk.
I appreciate that information. Thank you kindly.
Only Wallace knows this. Unless he shares it.
You know what this feels like?
I
to
mean,
me
I don't know
right
how
now?
to. I mean, I would try to subtly. Well, I'm not gonna. I don't know how to be subtle, so I'm just like if I'm not gonna say anything now. If things start to get hairy for whatever
I just want to
reason,
make sure
then
the other
that'll-
players are reacting on the information they have and only they have.
I feel
if
like
anything, you see that if anything, fingers and Spackles begin to see that Wallace's face gets very stern and concerned.
when I see that, this is what it feels like. It feels like Tyrion in the tavern when Lady Stark calls all the bannermen to be like, get ready to take this guy. And he's just like, oh shit. Like,
I probably missed this. Look
Fair,
at you guys.
fair
Like,
enough.
You guys are looking
Wouldn't expect you to,
nervous.
Spackles.
So anyway, so now everyone is
What's going on?
congregated. Folks are kind of here. The lady addresses the tavern, and she says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I don't wish to alarm anyone. No one is under any arrest, but we are here conducting an investigation. And if you would be all so kind as to cooperate, we're going to ask some of you some questions. We'll be doing this individually. So do be sure to just cooperate. If you've done nothing, you have nothing to hide. You shouldn't be concerned. Please, we appreciate your cooperation and patience."
can we have breakfast while this is going on? Some of us
What
haven't eaten in a while.
What he said.
So Sveth kind of says, "Yeah, oh, sorry, that's the wrong voice." Sveth kind of says, "Yes, the lady said we'll be able to serve the kitchens. We're going to be a little delayed, but I'll make sure we get some food in your bellies. Just everyone hang out here for a while, and we're going to be using some of the back cellar rooms as what you call them, investigation cells. I don't want to use the word cells. You're not being held captive. Look, they promised me that if we all cooperate, everything's going to be fine."
It was
And
Yes,
like this.
while he's saying that, I want to, if I can do it stealthily, I want to do the old hand over the mouth chin stroke to use the message cantrip to both Jin and Wallace, and just say to them, if they ask, it was Professor Sturgis that sent us on the expedition. And that's what I say to both of them. Silently. Hopefully invisibly.
Cool. Zach is muted.
Responding in message form, I say, "You go first. You can message us your answers."
Hmm.
That way we're consistent.
Well
So,
played.
With
I
that,
didn't hear that, so I'm not going to say anything about it.
with that, additional blackguards continue to come in, and everyone's kind of very timidly sitting about.
Oh, actually, ma'am, is it possible for us to volunteer to go first, so we can, in case some of us have places to be?
I appreciate your enthusiasm, but rest assured the blackguards are fully capable of conducting investigations in an orderly and efficient manner.
Oh, very well. That didn't work. I just didn't want to sit here all day.
But your cooperation has been noted. So, in the door, not only are the heavily armored blackguards, but also in blackguard-colored robes is an older gentleman. He has a pointy cap instead of a big helmet. You can see his face. It's kind of mottled and withered. He's probably in his 80s. He's arthritic and hunched over, and he carries a big tome and like a satchel on his back with scrolls poking out. It seems to be some sort of ledgers maker keeper guy. He, the tall lady, and one of the other blackguards approach Farah's table, and they chit chat briefly, and you see Kales stand up from her table. Oh, somebody did something on stream. Hey, thanks for the follow over PBJ2. Appreciate it. So I and a group of indigenous people in my campaign preventing a necromancer from obtaining a godhood. We fought through a kingdom he raised. To get to the throne room, we lost 2 of us in the run. We interrupted the ritual, started the final fight. Near the end, 2 wizards cast Meteor Swarm together. 7 of us died along with the boss. Even with saving throws in second wind, I barely lived, and 1 wizard lived, though through the chaos. I killed her for killing our allies and took the Necromancer's skull. What an epic conclusion, man. Thanks for stopping by. We're deep in this campaign. It's in a world I created. There is a... I think I can do this. Oh, I guess the commands aren't working. I do have a YouTube, which has all of our previous episodes. Let me see if I can pull that up. Sorry, gentlemen. We actually have some activity on the stream, and I want to make sure that I give him his due.
Got a live one.
We got a live one! Alright, so this is my YouTube channel.
Careful, don't scare him away.
There's a playlist with all the previous episodes. I know a couple of them recorded silent. I fixed that going forward. But basically, we're in this world I created. There's a whole link to the world building. It's super fun. What we're doing right now is some RP, the sort of local fort of law enforcement elite are conducting an investigation. And I know you figure it out. I'm sure you're a D&D vet. Anyhow, as I was saying, gentlemen, where were we?
So one of the wildmen got.
Yeah. So Caless, the hunter lady, she gets selected first apparently, and her, along with the tall lady guard, the old wizard, the old man, scribe-looking dude, and another guard, escort her to the back room.
Waiting our turn. I'll pull out. I mean, as I start to sober up over time, I'll pull out my cards and start just.
Yeah, everyone's just relaxing.
Playing.
Like, people aren't sitting in silence; they're chit-chatting and going through their business. But when one of the college kids attempts to exit, since everyone's now been rounded up, they're barred from leaving. One of the blackguards is like, "Please have a seat. This will only take a short while. Thank you for your patience and cooperation." Yeah, so they talk with Caless for what seems like 3-4 minutes. Doesn't take long. She comes back, and they select Rolfo.
Oh, that's good.
They take him back. 3-4 minutes.
While this is happening, this is weird. I've been on the investigating side of this. I've never been on the suspect side. This is odd.
Yeah,
This will be interesting.
How does everybody look coming back from interrogation? Do they look?
Make an
fearful?
insight
Do they
check.
look-
Oh yeah, that's an excellent idea.
Can you see the roll?
Yeah, was that a 14?
Oh, okay.
Yep.
14. Yeah.
Sorry, I was responding to the active chatter. It's amazing. I'm not used to doing that. No one's ever here.
One more thing for the DM to have to make.
Yeah, right. Just one. Hang on. If I move it to the other screen, I just won't be able to see you guys in Discord, but I'll be able to see the stream chat and the actual game. So 14 insight. Yeah. So Caless looks as stoic as always. So you don't really get a lot from that. Rolfo returns, and he's got kind of a smirk on his face. And now, and then Farah is taken. When Farah gets back, the 3 of them sit on their table, and she's got like a big grin on her face. And then they're chit-chatting.
Yeah, I'd like to keep watching out and seeing how these people come out of that room.
Sure. I'll have you do an insight roll for each group of people. So for the wild men, you basically get the sense that
14.
they feel okay, they're laughing, they're joking, they're Farah's bemused, and that's happening. So then they start taking people from one of the scholar tables. This is the table that has Mortimer and Varen. Mortimer is seated with some of his students. Varen is seated with other students. So they take one of the students. We'll call it Shag. Shag.
Yeah, for those in the stream, all of the students are named after the Scooby Crew.
Yeah, all the NPCs from this scholarly group that our party was escorting through the woods to the temple are all named after Scooby-Doo characters. So Shaggy comes back and he's like sweating, but like seems really like shaken and intimidated. Um, Velma comes back, she comes back, and then she and Shag are like, right? I know. They take Mortimer, and Mortimer goes, and then Mortimer returns, and he doesn't seem. Oh, make your insight check. Sorry, I was gonna have you make another insight check.
May I do the same thing?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So Mortimer returns, and you get the sense that the young students are more shaken because they're like, it's first time talking to the cops, man. But when Mortimer gets back, it's like, okay, they're just asking questions. The table's a little closer to so the wild men are sitting over at this table.
Right.
This table that they're investigating is this one, so they're a little closer to you guys. But you still can't make out everything they're saying. Nobody's talking to you specifically, unless you have a conversation with them. I can't say whether you're doing that or not. Then they move over to this table, which has the remainder of the scholars and Varen. They select Varen first.
Oh, good. I wanted to watch him.
Varen stands up as if he's spoken to the authorities millions of times, and actually you hear him on his way start saying, "Yes, well, my father donates regularly to the annual Blackguard Ball," etc.
I've got a bumper sticker on my horse that says I donated to the Blackguard.
Yeah, he's basically that guy. He's back speaking to them for about the same amount of time. And when he comes back, there's a little trickle of blood on the side of his mouth, and he's very sullen and quiet.
I freaking called this in the beginning. Sorry. Moving on. My money was on Barrett. Yes.
Then they take the other students, the rest of the scholar students, who are a little freaked out when Varen returns, and then they ask. You hear them because they're closer now. You hear them ask like, "What happened?" And Varen doesn't want to talk about it. But they all return again, and now they're like, "I don't understand. What did you do, Varen? Like, they just asked me some questions. I just told them, and they asked about the bandit camp, and everything's fine. I just told them what happened. Everything was cool." And then she approaches this table, and she comes to you, Wallace. "You wanted to go first, I heard."
Yeah, I mean...
"Come with me," she says to Wallace.
Get up. Walk.
Yeah, so they lead you back to here, and around the corner through here, and then they lead you through here, and then in this back room, they've set up a very, comically classical, light-in-your-face chair at a table. Everyone's around you and in front of you. You're seated. They're all standing, kind of a situation.
How many of them are there?
So just the
three?
stenographer, so to speak. So now you see that the old hunched over man has unfurled his scrolls and he is writing down everything that happens. The guard that was with them is still in the room, and he's behind you in the chair, and she is across the table looking down at you. And
Okay.
yeah, even though you're tall, she still looks down at you. She's roughly 6'7".
Okay.
She's a tall lady.
All right.
So,
gents, I've been in... I'll walk, like, go ahead. All right, ma'am.
I really want to do this in a way such that...
So we don't know, right?
Yeah, so that you guys don't know what I'm saying to Mike. I've never had to do this on stream.
Do you want us to mute it then?
We can deafen, I think.
Yeah, if you deafen, you won't be able to talk or hear.
And I think...
How do you deafen?
Yeah, it's just one of the buttons in Discord. There's the mute button and then
Yep.
there's the deafen button.
And then just type something in chat when we come back.
Yeah, I'll type in game chat.
Okay. And you can monitor.
Okay, cool.
Great.
Yeah, they're definite. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, so you're still on stream. This is awesome.
Ma'am, I've I've been in your position many a times. I used to work in the law enforcement for the city whose name I can't remember off the top of my head. So happy to just answer your questions and be as efficient as we can. I sit down and ready to go.
The Blackguards appreciate your cooperation. I'm going to ask you a few very simple questions, and I would just like your answers to be succinct, to the point, and totally honest.
Of course.
Are you, or have you ever been employed or in the service of the bandit group known as the Illupim?
No.
The typing you hear is the stenographer writing your answers.
Oh, I can actually hear you type, but
Okay. Very good. Where have you been over the course of the past 6 weeks?
we've been traveling with the group of the Wildmen and the students that you've all already interviewed here, doing an expedition into the swamp to do a how was it? And I don't know why, like, Mike is struggling with the words that Wallace would know how to say. Yeah, basically, we doing the same thing with the Wildman, was doing basically escorting all the students out into the swamp to make sure they were safe. Had a little bit of excitement there with some undead creatures, and then coming back, dealing with a lot of really nasty weather. That's where we've been the last 6 weeks, really.
I see.
More details?
How
More
long-
questions? Whatever.
How long ago did you disembark for that journey?
Oh, my mistake. That was it 2 weeks ago, right?
Are you trying to remember?
Yeah, Wallace is trying to like Mike is trying to remember with
Yeah.
all the timetables we've done. Like, has the entire campaign been over the last 6 weeks? I'm not trying to fib. I'm trying to just remember.
Okay,
be
gotcha.
accurate.
So it was 2 weeks out and 2 weeks back.
So 4 weeks in and out, and
Yeah,
then so
and then
it
the
would've
previous 2 weeks has been basically everything that you've done since we started.
been, okay. Okay. Now I'm just genuinely trying to remember the whole campaign at this point.
Haha, yes! This is exactly what I wanted! Oh, this is coming to fruition! I'm so excited!
It's a summary. This is the summary episode. Okay. Alright, so 6 weeks
So,
ago.
all she asked this question was, how long ago did you disembark on that journey?
Oh, that was so. Yeah, that journey was 4 weeks ago. 2 weeks before that, because you asked about 6 weeks, was when I was back at. Where's the map? Hold on, I lost all my notes when I had to switch computers.
You would remember it was Uralaba.
Yeah, I was in Uralaba, and then we had a run-in, actually, with one of your fellow Blackguard folks, needing some assistance with some run-in that he had with, I believe it was with the Lupum. So it definitely didn't work for him. In fact, ended up having some run-ins with them. Ended up finding a card, found something he was missing, got it to him on the road, and then ended up, while we were in the cart, coming to the Sawtooth in an attempt to, I think, find him and get him back. Does that recall?
In an attempt,
So that was.
Sorry, in an attempt to what?
Wait, hold on. Let me think.
You ended up in
Sorry,
the
it's
cart coming to the Sawtooth in an attempt to find what?
Hold on. Let me think. It's been. You forgive me. It's been a very, very.
Take
busy
your time.
6 weeks. Yes. Let's see. Why didn't we end up in the woods? We ended up.
Glances
Why didn't
over
we-
at the stenographer and turns back.
No, like Mike is genuinely trying to remember. It's not. This is not me. Wallace trying to be dumb. This is Mike being like, "Why did we end up in the woods again?" So we got Vern had us find.
So do you want the DM to tell Mike the history?
Yes.
All right. So
we had,
you,
we had to go into the woods to find the thing, right? That was why.
yeah, you
To
initially
find his, ring.
you initially went into the woods trailing the Illupim looking for his signet because the bandit map had the X's in the woods.
Right. So I would just, okay, no, I would say that basically, like, all right, so yeah, you Vern, who was a Blackguard initiate, had lost his signet, and he came and asked us for some. He just happened to come across us in your laba. Being a man of the law, I respected the man being in a somewhat bad situation, so we ended up finding a bandit map on the cot. Took the cot into the bandit camp, found it. Managed to get out of the bandit camp, managed to get out of the swamp when we found the signet. Sent it back over to him, and then came to the Sawtooth as the closest place. Came to the Sawtooth as the closest place we could find a place to rest our heads after all of the excitement of having to fight off the Lupum, and then found our way into. And then managed to help escort the folks back and forth from the.
So.
Yeah.
So you met the wild men, as they're called, roughly 4 weeks ago?
Correct, for the first time. That is accurate.
And why did you escort the scholars and the wild men through the woods again?
We also came across a professor. What do we call him? What was his name? Jeff said the name. Wow.
Yeah. So this is now.
No,
this
sorry.
is something you would definitely know. So it's Sturgis.
Right. Yeah. That was Professor Sturgis. I find it fascinating that my actual heart rate is like beating right now.
You're like actually being interrogated. This is fantastic.
I'm in like wow, this is. I really feel like I can feel like the temperature in my head going like there's starting to be beats.
I'm so happy this is working.
This is accurate.
You came across Professor Sturgis?
Yes, we came across Professor Sturgis while we were traveling down the road on the way to the Sawtooth, who said he would like us to help out with the investigating. He was specifically, I'm telling you because I trust you as members of the Blackguard, that we were, because he specifically asked for discretion to us not to list his name to the folks that wanted us to help escort him. He wanted us to help escort folks going to the Uralabin Temple. So we came across him as we were traveling through the woods, or as we were traveling back and forth from trying to get the signal.
The Blackguard signet, yes.
Yes, the Blackguard signet.
And what was the name of the gentleman for whom you were retrieving the signet?
Oh, Van. I don't remember. I can look up his name. Did he give us his last name? I don't actually remember.
You know Vern Stewart.
Yeah, Vern Stewart.
Very good. And finally, your name, please.
Wallace Stoneguard.
Very good. Thank you, Wallace. Please remain in the tavern while we continue the investigation. And we would kindly ask that you keep your discussion of the interrogation with your compatriots at a minimum.
Of course. Again, if I could ask that our employer, Professor Sturgis, he was very specific about being discreet.
Your comments have been noted. Thank you.
Thank you kindly. And I'll walk back out.
You are escorted back out by her as she goes to retrieve the next. So,
who I guess is, well, yeah, whoever that happens to be. All right, I'm going to deafen myself now.
Oh no! Jeff's not there.
Jeff can't see usually. So.
No, he waved.
Okay.
All right. So everybody deafen unless you're Jeff. Very good.
Before, I don't know where you are at this point, but before Jeff walks away, I just go like this. Like, kind of just casually just wipe my face and then go back to drinking my water. Okay, bye.
Okay. So, Jeff, do you need to be able to see your targets to do a message? Here, let me look that up.
You point your finger toward a creature within range and whisper a message.
Okay, so you don't actually
You
have
can
to be able to see them. You just have to point in their direction. That are
magical
within range.
silence, 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood blocks the spell. The spell
3
doesn't have
feet
to
of-
follow a straight line. It can travel freely around corners or through openings and has a range of 100
Okay,
feet.
that is excellent information. So the Blackguard collects you. She returns Wallace. Wallace comes back and has a seat and collects you. Says you're next.
Of course.
You come with me, please. She escorts you to the corner over here and around and brings you over to here. And you see.
Wallace didn't look bloodied or anything, right? That was
Nope,
only
Wallace
bad.
did not look bloodied. He seemed perfectly healthy. And he just said nothing to you as you pass by.
Mhm.
She sits you down, and did you hear the description of the room? Were you there for that?
Yeah, that's there's a bright light. And
Yeah,
I'm
standard
sitting there
interrogation setup. There's a guard standing behind you. You're seated in a chair. She's across the table, looming over you, and the stenographer's in the corner, writing down everything you say. And she
Sure.
says, "I appreciate your cooperation and your patience during this time.
Of course.
We are going to ask you a few questions, and you will answer them succinctly, completely, and with total honesty. We appreciate your cooperation, and this should be relatively painless." Question 1. Have you ever been, or are you currently employed, by the bandit group known as the Lupim?
No.
The
Heard of them.
typing you hear is
The stenographer.
the
Right?
stenographer writing down your answers. So, your answer.
No.
Very good. Where have you been in the past 6 weeks? Where have you been for the past 6 weeks?
Oh, let's see. After spending some time near Canoria before that, we found ourselves in the Uralaban Valley, and I have to check the name of what was the town we were in before.
You would remember it's called Uralaba.
Uralaba, that's right. Okay, we were in Uralaba, and then after that, we were waylaid on the road in pursuit of a signet ring for one of your own. He had been waylaid en route to Uralaba, and we decided to help him out. And we ourselves were ambushed. And then after that, we wanted to find some answers. And a short time after that, we came across a wandering academic named, what did he call himself? He was a dwarf, Sturgis something or other. And this Professor Sturgis, as he announced, he said there was some kind of expedition that some of his colleagues were organizing, and they had already hired some muscle, but he wanted to add his own, so he paid us a fair wage, and we joined the group at the Sawtooth, and then set out with a party of a little under 20 something, maybe more like 15. And made our way across the swamps and into some ruins, and somehow ended up dusting up with you're never going to believe this, a mummy, an ancient mummy of all things. And a couple of us got injured, but we were able to, by the grace of our good friend, the scholar Mortimer, able to figure out how to cure our wounds. And then we made our way back here to the Sawtooth with our friends, safe and sound. Oh, we may have passed by a bandit camp in the woods, and my friend may have set it on fire. But they attacked first. We were just trying to get by, and yeah, we were only defending ourselves. So, and then that was a day or two ago, and then now we made it here, and finally had well, some of us had a good night's sleep, and the others partied and drank and ate their fill, and now we're talking to you.
I see. How long ago did you disembark on the journey?
Oh, it's been a couple weeks now, I think.
With your companions here from the Sawtooth, I mean.
You mean the larger group or the group before that?
The excursion to the temple. When did that begin?
Oh yeah, I believe a couple weeks ago. Definitely quite a few phases of the moon have passed
A
from
couple
when
of
we
weeks, you
began.
say?
I believe so.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Um, so you met the wild men a couple weeks ago?
Yes, we met them here. They noticed that we were staying here. We had heard of them by reputation and knew to meet up with the party, this is the place to do it. And sure enough, we met here at this very inn, and they felt us out, we felt them out, and decided that yeah, we there was a good match, and we said we're not going to step on your toes. We're just here to ensure the success of the mission. That's why we're being paid, and went from there. And yeah, don't know them before that, only by reputation.
Understood. And you mentioned something about a signet ring. Whose signet ring were you retrieving?
I feel bad because I had mentioned to this person, this one of your order, that I would not break confidence. So I ask that you understand the gravity of the situation, that I am betraying the confidence of one in order to answer your question in good faith. I hope you can appreciate that.
Just please answer the questions as honestly as possible.
Of course. Yes. The blackguard who was waylaid on the road was Vern Stior, I believe a new recruit in your order. And despite his best efforts, he was ambushed, and they managed to pry his signet ring off of him. And when he confided in us the weight of that situation and what it would mean, we said we would do our best to help him out. And because we know the Blackguard to be fair in their dealings, and let's face it, he's looking to cross the Blackguard. So yeah, Vern Stewart, that was his name.
Hmm.
I hope it doesn't disbar him or anything like that. He means the best and has nothing but the
Yes, thank you.
noblest of
She cuts you
intentions.
off.
Of course.
And once again, for the record, your name?
My name is Leganor. Well, I mean, I have a family history if you wish to know it. Most people don't seem to
Just a
care too
family
much.
name, should you have one.
Well, it's funny. I'm not really sure what it is. I've been on my own for so long. I just go by Leganor. I hail
That
from the slums of Canoria. So.
that will suffice. And finally, do you still have the bandit map?
Do I? Do I need to roll a check to remember if I would have a copy of that map in my bag? I don't remember physically having it.
The party has it. I don't know.
Right.
Well, the party had it until you got to Sturgis. I don't know if you have it with you still or not. Yes, yeah, he would have left you with the map because it would have been the best way to find your way back to him.
Okay, so
I don't know which of the three of you has it. The GM speaks.
Is this a roll d6 then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. Let me do that real quick. You're 1, Mike's 2, Zach's 3. All right. So you know that Jin has it.
Okay. So Jin has it. So no, I don't believe I've put my hands on that in quite some time now. Yeah, maybe one of the others, maybe Wallace or Jin, has to be. I mean, you're happy to look through my belongings if you want, but I don't have much.
That won't be necessary at this time. Thank you for your cooperation. She stands you up, escorts you out of the room.
Okay.
And you can.
As I'm walking back out, I'm gonna do a very quick look at Jin
Mm-hmm.
and just say, Professor Sturgis hired us to be extra help, and continue walking.
So yeah, so she escorts you to the table. She asks you to have a seat. Yeah, that's fine. She asks you to have a seat. and you sit back down with Wallace. She says, "If you will please come with me," and motions to you, Jin. And Jeff, you can go back on mute.
Okay, one quick question for you.
Sure.
Can I ask Wallace to recount to me what he told them,
Zach,
or is there something?
Zach, I need you to deafen just for a second.
Got it. Deafening in 3, 2.
Sorry, Zach.
It's okay. So what I forgot to tell you, Jeff, is before she escorted you out, she also said, because I said this to Mike, please do not mention any of this conversation with your fellow compatriots until the investigation has concluded.
Okay.
Thank you.
I-
Then she escorts
yeah.
you out. All right, Zach,
Okay.
you can come back.
All right. Deafening.
Hi.
Yes, please come this way.
Oh,
so
yes,
she
okay.
brings Jeff back to here. She escorts you to this corner here.
Oh, that's
And
right. I'm like, oh, I'm still like very hungover. So.
then escorts you into this room. Do you remember how I described it to everybody earlier?
Yeah, the light shining in your face,
Yeah.
sitting in the corner.
So you got the stenographer in the corner writing down everything. You got a guard standing behind you in the chair that you're seated in, and she's on the other side of the table, kind of looming over you.
Any chance we could turn that light down a little bit? I'll answer your questions. Just I got a headache.
Sorry, the light is required for his old eyes to see.
All right.
Please have a seat, and this should only take a short while. I'm going to ask you several questions, and I would like you to answer them briefly. Excuse me. I'd like you to answer them honestly, completely, and this should all go perfectly fine.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Question number 1. Are you currently, or have you ever been, employed by the group known as the Elupim?
Lupin? No, never been employed by them.
Very well. Where have you been for the last 6 weeks?
6 weeks. Geez, we've been on this adventure with the team out there, the wild guys, and that's pretty much it. That's been the past couple weeks.
Yes, I asked you for the past 6 weeks. You've been with the Wild Men
Oh,
for 6
jeez.
weeks?
No, I don't think so. Sorry, man. I'm a little tired now. I actually don't know how much time has passed that we have been with the wild men.
So, I will tell you, Zach, the journey
Yeah.
to and from the temple was 2 weeks out, 2 weeks back.
Okay,
And then the previous 2 weeks was basically the rest of the campaign.
got it. Okay. Yeah, so we've been with them for at least a month, and then the 2 weeks before that, we were just we were out on our own, back in that city over there, where we spent most of our time.
I'm sorry, which city is this?
Get the name of it. Hang on. Me, Zach forgets the name of it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Zach knows it's Zach knows it's Uralaba.
Oh, that's the name of the city, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in Uralaba. That's where we spend most of our time.
That's where you spend most of your time. You are a resident of Uralaba?
Yeah, we do some traveling. I hang out with these guys. We what's his name? Hired us, Sturgis, for this adventure here.
And which adventure is that?
The one with the wild men.
So this Sturgis character hired you to do what with the Wild Men?
To escort them, keep those other guys safe. You know, the soft ones.
And when did you meet this Sturgis?
Jeez, we met Sturgis, just as we were, I guess, coming out of Uralaba.
Very good. Between the moment you left Uralaba and met with the Wild Men, have you had any encounters, dealings, conversations, or run-ins with the group known as the Elupim?
Elupim. How would I know that an Elupim is is in a loop. Is it that guy with the tattoo? Because they attacked us on the road. A bunch of rangers or bandits. I mean.
Sorry, you were attacked by a bunch of bandits?
Yeah, some of them had those tattoos on them, didn't they?
Zach, yes, they did.
Yeah, as I thought. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, they attacked us. We fought them off, but that's the only thing that we've done. Took their stuff to Sturgis. We saw Sturgis over there, and he asked us some questions.
Very good. Sturgis asks you some questions. What exactly did he ask you?
Well, he was asking us the same sorts of questions. And he asked us to help out with the wild guys.
Why would he need you to do this?
I don't know. We're fighters for hire. That's what we do. We don't ask questions. We just do.
I see. Could you please describe the timeline of events during your excursion to the temple?
Do you want to know like how we got there? We took the road. We got stuck in a swamp, and we made it to the temple.
And then what happened?
What are we looking for in the temple? Then let's see. We got into the temple, and then we had to fight off some zombies, and now we're here.
Some zombies, you say?
Mission successful.
You fought off some zombies in a temple?
Sure.
Was everyone alright? That sounds very scary.
Everybody was fine. You know, with guys like us around, handle that.
So these were just simple little zombies.
Yeah, I mean, simplest zombies I ever fought.
I see. It's alright, so you're in the temple, you're fighting zombies, you survive the zombie fight, and then what happened?
And then we came back here. We made our way back and delivered these fine gentlemen.
Your journey from the temple to the Sawtooth was relaxing and uneventful?
Oh no! I mean, we fought some other bandits. Got attacked by some bandits in the woods.
You were attacked by bandits in the woods.
Yep.
Were these the same bandits you were attacked by earlier?
I don't know. They just started shooting at us, so we fought back. Never got close enough to one of them.
You didn't
Just
get
I know that
very
when I get
close
shot
to
at,
them.
I fight back.
Well, explain to me, perhaps, how many of these bandits were in the woods.
Oh,
You seem to do a lot of fighting and not a lot of dying, which is fortunate for you.
bandits, man, they're no problem. I took care of them. There was at least, I don't know, 6 or 8 of them.
6 or 8.
Well, I took care of. There's probably more. I didn't see them. We took care of.
And how did you dispatch of these bandits? Threw rocks at them? Punched them in the face?
I make a fireball appear on my hand.
As you go to produce a fireball, the guard behind you like elbows the back of your head and braces both your hands on the desk.
Oh, hey, bro, I'm sorry. I was adding a dramatic flair. I don't intend to fight you guys. It was a fireball. I was just dramatic.
You'll answer your questions with your words, thank you very much. It's
Yeah,
all right. It's all right. She calms him down. I see. So when you say you handled the bandits, what you mean to say is you set the entire fort ablaze?
We crispified them. Can you hear me? Did I lose you?
I still have your voice, but not video.
Oh no, I got your video.
Yeah, your video
Looks
is
like you
turned
lost
off.
mine. Really?
Yeah.
I'm showed on my end.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Oh, maybe it is we lost Mike. I'm looking at you through the stream.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
no, it is
We
Mike.
lost
It
Mike.
is Mike we
Mike.
lost. All right, no big deal.
Okay.
I see. Just a couple more questions. What initially sent you out to find Sturgis?
He found us.
But you said you live in Uralaba. Why are you all wandering through the woods looking for work at the Sawtooth?
We look for work. We're for hire. We like to fight people. We take care of our own, and we're just looking for some coin.
So you, on a whim, decided to leave your employment at Uralaba, venture out onto the high road, happen to encounter a wandering professor who decides to hire 3 total strangers to protect an excursion that's happening halfway across the forest? Is that what I'm to believe?
Listen, man. I don't got all the details for you.
You see, those
I just
details are
fight the bad
precisely why
guys.
you're sitting in that chair, so you're going to answer these questions. Take your time if you must.
All right. So let's see. We're in town there. And what happened? Then we left town, and we got attacked by those guys. Now, Jim, I do remember. Zach to Jim,
Mhm.
I'm avoiding talking about.
I understand.
Sure.
Jim gets
Okay.
what's happening. I'm role-playing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Got it. Okay. My first time. Yeah, we left the town and we got attacked by these bandits and we got a whole bunch of stuff in their cart. So we start moving it around. We take it to the nearest fort that we saw to try to gather it up, and that's where Sturgis was. Ran into him.
So you didn't run into him on the road. You drove a cart into the woods and encountered a fort, you said? Where was this
Yeah.
fort?
In the woods, like to the east of the main road there, south of the Sawtooth.
Could you show me perhaps on your bandit's map?
Yeah, sure. All right. I point out the X on the map. That's fine.
You don't even bat an eye at the fact that she knows you have it?
No, whatever. I don't really care. Whatever. Here it is. It was in the cart. We got it.
Excellent.
We got a lot of stuff from the bandits.
And finally,
Not batting an eye.
the last question I have for you is, what is your name?
My name's Jin
Do you have a family name?
Draprax. You know my dad?
No, I can't say that I've met any Dragonborn recently, but I appreciate your answers to my questions. If you would please kindly follow the guard to your table, and please also refrain from discussing the investigation with your companions.
Yeah, all right, sounds good.
Thank
You gonna buy me a drink for this?
The guard lifts you up out of your chair
Right.
and escorts you to the end of the hall. And
Pull my
back.
arm off and then walk out myself.
He still follows you and escorts you all the way back to the
Mhm.
table. Alright, let's see. All unmute.
Cards.
Alright.
Yeah, deal me
It's
in.
probably lunchtime by now.
So, yeah, I mean it's been a couple hours. I'd say it's maybe 9 or 10 o'clock, because it was like 6ish when we first started.
There's a lot of us.
So, with that, the guard comes back out and says, we appreciate everyone's testimony and your continued patience as we sort through the testimonies that have been given. Please remain here in the foyer of this inn. The proprietor will be making provisions available throughout the day. You shouldn't need to leave. But if you must, please discuss with one of the guards who will escort you to whatever needs you have. And then the big tall lady returns back to that officey area, and you're left in the tavern room with everyone, plus 2 guards posted at the door.
Why do you think Sticky got punched?
I don't know. I probably would have done the same.
He's arrogant. They don't like
What?
that.
Ooh, hang on, I think the stream might be frozen. One moment. Let me just view it myself to make sure.
Did we lose our audience?
Oh no, it's because I minimized Discord. So now that I've... Everything should be fine now.
Yeah, third screen there, buddy.
I do need a third screen, buddy. You don't
And I'm sad to say I took it.
You don't even know. No, I don't even have room on this desk for a third screen. But oddly enough, Zach's video is missing
Is it?
from the stream. It's not missing
weird.
from... Wait, what has happened? What is going on? What's going on?
What's
going
on?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have some technical difficulties.
I gotta figure this out.
Yeah.
Knuckles are just too shiny, and the stream.
So
can't handle it.
talk amongst yourselves in RP while I sort out the stream.
Are the guards like right there, like within earshot, or?
Yeah, we do happen to be the closest table to the door.
Yeah. So that was interesting, huh?
Yeah. They definitely seem to mean business. How about you, Wallace?
Yeah. I mean, the question they asked that made me think we were fine is, have we ever worked for the Alupum? I mean, who would? Why?
That's a big
So
old
looking for somebody associated with Alupum, so we're good. I don't know.
Definitely
We're
wouldn't
good.
work with bandits at all.
No. So, I'm not. Telling me not consent.
All right, I
Also,
fixed
I
it.
mean, makes you wonder what everybody else was doing, before we all got here. But who knows? Makes me wonder what maybe Sticky's got some connections we don't know about. But moving on.
All right, so I'm literally looking through your 3 testimony and doing actual investigations. So give me a moment while I comb through the details of your stories.
Give me a minute while I find all your inconsistencies and decide to play with them. Yay! Yeah, I got some personal experience with getting on the wrong side with somebody with some connections. I'm sure everything here is on the up and up, though. When we're done with our thing, we can move on with our day.
I'm just ready to get going.
I look at you and kind of whisper, what did
Who's
you say
you?
about Sturgis? And this is a whisper, so respond in kind.
You mean a message?
Yes.
Like the message?
Yeah.
So I'll look at you and then look down at my cards and think. Say what you said. We were hired by Professor Sturgis.
Turn 4.
What?
I imagine you gave me the same message. I said, yeah, he hired us.
Assuming you did message.
Okay.
I assumed that as well. Yeah.
If that was enough to let us get our story straight to some pretty experienced investigators.
Yeah. Would be pretty good.
Because it's like, I'm sure you've heard the
It was
story.
a good thing. It was a fantastic save on your part. I don't know what
Yeah.
I'm genuinely curious what I would have done if you hadn't said that.
I remember a story they used to tell us at the Abbey about don't cheat, because if you cheat and you're caught, then we'll question all of you. And you remember, and they told the story, this one time someone with a car drove 3 other students and they were late coming back, and said there was a flat tire, but then they asked them all, separately, which tire was it? And what are the odds they all say it's the same tire if they don't plan it ahead of time?
Right. So what you're telling me is that a private educational establishment told you how to lie.
They taught you how to get out of jail. That's
Full circle.
phenomenal.
Is the lesson that I'm picking up here.
All right, so
A Christian-run establishment, mind you.
as you guys are chit chatting amongst yourselves, the additional blackguards, or the same blackguards, come in from the back room. and they say, she addresses the room. If I can all have your attention, please. If I call your name, I would like you to please remain seated.
I'm keeping hypnotic pattern readied behind, like the hand behind my back, kind of casually, but I'm ready to unleash it.
Okay. If I call your name, I'd like you to please remain seated. The rest of you whose names are not called I would kindly ask to vacate the sawtooth. And she proceeds to say,
And the
Varen,
winner,
names.
Academy
Varen,
Award is
Varen, whatever his last name was. Did I give him Farhaven? Varen Farhaven. Jin Dre Prax. Wallace Stoneguard. Leganor, family name unknown.
I give her that look like you just had to say that last bit, didn't you?
It's
Alright,
a
so everybody
mononym, like
so everybody
Prince
else
or Madonna.
leaves.
The rest of you, please follow my colleagues out of the sawtooth. And with that, everyone complies. Varen stands up and says, excuse me, but I would very much like to leave this place. I've had my fill, and the blackguard near him backhands him to the floor.
I laugh raucously.
Well, that wasn't entirely necessary, was it?
I'm chuckling, but quietly. I'm not
And
so
the lady says very calmly, "Please remain calm, and your compliance is appreciated." After a couple of minutes, everyone has left, and the four of you remain in the room.
Can I get him back up in his chair?
Oh, I mean, he picks himself. He doesn't go unconscious. He just
Okay.
gets knocked to the ground and picks himself up and sulks in the chair.
Okay. Okay.
What do
She
we
then-
have in common with this guy?
She then says, "It is under the decree of blah 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 legal jargon, section this, point that, something something, yada yada yada, that the four of you are hereby held under arrest for suspect of terrorist collaboration and some other charge regarding conspiracy to terrorize and larceny exceeding the value of some odd value of gold. You are all hereby placed under arrest by order of the Blackguards of Gaspar. Please make your way orderly and calmly into the transport vehicle located outside the tavern."
So, boys, they taking us?
To this, Varen stands up again and he says, "No, this is an outrage. I am not." Blah, 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 and he starts running for the door to escape. And as he gets to roughly here, a pike, or excuse me, the point of a longsword is extruded from his back into the room, and he falls down at the floor in a bloody mess.
Oh,
They stab him in the back.
No, he's running. He's
they
running to get
they
out the
run him
door.
through.
Somebody at the door
Oh.
stabbed him through, and you see the sword protrude from his back into the room.
Ooh,
See, and he's down, huh?
And he's
that's gonna leave a mark.
he's pretty dead looking.
Wow.
Oh. Well, now I
Once
feel bad for
again,
laughing.
I would kindly ask that you move in an orderly fashion. No running, please.
Well,
I
see how you people work. I'll
Mhm.
stand up with my stuff and walk out and sort of look to my other two compatriots to see if they're getting up with me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what choice do we have? You don't think we can take these guys? Okay, I'm up. Let's go. We're walking out.
You,
Jeff?
I got nothing in this situation, and I will proceed to. Yeah, I'll follow behind.
I'm so
Sparkles?
tempted I'm so tempted to roll the dice with something right now, but I feel like a level.
What
Even though
would
I
your
don't
character?
know
You
this.
don't know this. And if I don't see what you're doing because I'm now walking out the door,
Yeah,
I can't.
I'm walking
I
out the
can't
door
warn you.
too.
I mean, I look to you two to see if they're gonna do something because I've been wondering if you two would do something. You two tend to be a little chaotic or throw some sparks into situations. Pun intended.
I go with him.
Okay.
So you go peacefully. Very good.
Yeah.
You are very calmly and peacefully
Where's all of our stuff?
on your person. No one has
Okay.
confiscated anything.
All right.
You are escorted out the door of the Sawtooth. Just a couple of feet down the path, there is that big old covered wagon which has been turned around. Yes?
Ma'am, may I see your signet?
She ignores you.
I think it's only fair that the woman of the law would be able to show us a member of your stature and then just allow us to respect your authority to allow us to go into the wagon. That's not much to ask, right?
She says, noting your police, your law enforcement history, that will come in
Yeah.
handy here. And she does, in fact, produce from around her neck a symbol of the Blackguard, and around it, the metal gleams a sort of marbled silver and gold shimmer.
Cool. Okay. Thank you. And I'll very calmly to the cart. Climb in.
Mike, make a history check. You're a law enforcement guy from Gaspar. You might know this.
Actually, I think I'm from the other city, but moving on. History.
Oh, that's right. You're not from Gaspar.
No, I'm from, where's my background?
I mean, you're from the Kingdom of Gaspar. Kenori is the other city in Gaspar.
Yes, I'm from Kenori. But, I mean, I'm 9, so you tell me.
Okay. Yeah, so you know that the medals around that signet are, like, high-ranking.
Yeah, I kind of figured. So
Yeah.
she's legit is the point. So like,
Yeah.
cool.
Legitimate and far more important than a silver ring.
I respect your authority. Going into the cart.
Yeah, so they escort you into a very nice-looking armored. It's like the outside is like spiky and wrought iron clad and heavy and armored, and the inside is polished, smooth oak benches down the side. No restraints or manacles. Just
Because they know they don't need them.
yeah, just really nice benches inside of a very heavily armored wagon.
Just so I'm curious, is anybody gonna help him? Like, you wanted to arrest him. You're not gonna leave him dead, are you? Because we can like bring him back to life so you can ask him questions.
She ignores you, but one of the guards chuckles and says, "Justice has been served." And Mike, you recall that the Blackguards are.
That's how they work.
They are judge, jury, executioner. Like, they dole out the entirety of justice.
Judge Dredd.
Yeah, they're Judge Dredds of Emrae. Exactly.
Great. That makes me okay.
Oh boy.
So, all right. Do I know enough to think that I'm gonna have a trial later, or have I already been judged? Do I know that?
You know, so while they act in the authority of judge, jury, executioner, so you know that the Blackguard's primary function. We'll take a step out and just remind everyone of what you know of the Blackguards. Their primary function is to travel to different cities and settlements where they meet up with local law enforcement and perform the investigations, the trials, the sentencing, etc. of any held prisoners. What you just experienced is a little different than that capacity, insofar as nobody was being held prisoner. So this investigation is atypical, but still well within their, purview and capacity.
Okay.
So this would be what one might call an inquisition, less than a standard judgment.
Okay.
I haven't come up with a buzzword term for their standard operation.
Is there any, even barred windows on this cart that we're in? Can I see outside of it?
Yeah, there's light outside. You can see where you're traveling. There are bars preventing your escape.
That's fine. As long
But
as I
there's
can see
light.
outside.
There's light outside. There's light inside.
And are we heading north?
So
Are
yeah,
we
so they,
we're jumping ahead. Are we in the cart now?
yeah, they escort you into the cart. They
Okay.
clap down the doors. You hear clink, chink, 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 and then you see and hear sort of a wong noise, and like a shimmer is seen through the windows briefly.
Yeah, great. Okay. Yeah, these cats know what they're doing. All right. So
And the cart starts a moving, and you hear the clip, clop, splip, splop of horses and the voices, and you begin to roll away from the sawtooth.
Boys, where the hell are we going?
Well, you two didn't drink so much last night. We might have been able to get out. Just saying.
can't do much about that now.
Yeah, well, you happen to have any L on you now?
That is a great line to fade to black.
Hair of the dog.
Well, might as well get drunk, I guess.
So I guess our
I'm gonna
mistake
spend
was, I guess our mistake was even bringing up that guy's name in the first place.
Who's
Who knows what the hell he could have
Yeah.
said?
I mean,
Well, how else? What's the other quick short term we all agree on
I
detail?
don't know. No, it was fine. I don't even know if they know who Sturgis is. I don't remember if he was like an ex-professor. I remember him explaining. I don't know.
We coincidentally ingratiated ourselves to a reclusive band of mercenaries.
We didn't exactly. I mean, all of this was like I've been trying to do the right thing so far. Like we didn't have a choice. I don't know. I can pontificate for a while, but I don't want to drag this stream out. Yeah, it's certainly not what I thought this session was going to be.
These might be some great things to talk about in our next stream.
Yes.
I take great comfort in being the only one alive who knows where these artifacts are.
Lies. Yeah, you getting that off you was a very smart move. Not that I know that, but at least.
Yeah,
That's even better. You don't even know that.
As far as
No, I don't know that.
Mhm.
You don't know that. We're inadvertently
don't know
keeping
that.
a lot of information from each other. Like, well, I was supposed to say this. It was a good idea that you once we get in the cart, and like, it was
yeah,
a
you
good
guys
thing
can talk freely inside if
You
you
do-
want.
It's a good thing you didn't try anything because these people were.
They bug inside the cart. Don't.
I mean, this is fine. They know they're very well trained. We wouldn't have been able to. We would have ended up like Sticky if we had tried anything.
Of course, there's no running
Oh,
from
yeah.
the black guard, and then Hey, cool.
All right.
Yes. Well, that's party talk. Or that's table talk. Never mind.
So that was a
That was
fun
an actual
twist.
whisper. That was an actual-
That was interesting.
Arrested. And
Yeah. Now
normally at the end of sessions, I like to pull the curtain behind and let you guys know, but I ain't gonna say.
Well,
shit.
clearly not in this situation.
I ain't gonna
yeah.
say. I ain't gonna say
Nothing this
nothing.
we're almost in a perfect position to play both sides against each other. The rogue wizard versus the established mercenary order.
Wait, the Blackguard?
Yeah.
You're assuming that they'll listen to us.
Yeah, but we know what Sturgis is up to. They may not know that fully yet.
And based on what we've seen, as far as they know, we are already in league with them, and we're already in league with him. And assuming that's why we got thrown in here, and
Potentially.
I don't think
What we
these people
don't know,
negotiate much.
what we don't know is if they bought the idea that we're just innocent adventurers that kind of got swooped up in this, or we've actually got a little more history with Sturgis, and we've been strong armed into
I
plundering.
mean,
the
all
tomb.
I said was that I met him in the woods. That's literally as far as I went.
I said a little more.
I said that we met, but I was hazy on the what and the when of how we met.
I just said we met in the woods, roughly the time that we did. I said we went to go help one of your fellow students find a thing, and then he hired us to.
I did
Go
throw
to-
Vern Stior under the bus as a.
Yeah, no, I was honest about that too.
Yeah.
I was honest about everything. What am I saying?
Hmm.
Well, what I'm saying is So
I
the
may have an
Black-
ally.
Let's
the
Boggles.
Blackguard clearly wants to know like their law and order, right? And so they already know that some things have been plundered from the tomb, which is interesting because
Did they know that?
larceny, larceny of items exceeding, unless they're holding us for the cart
Big
before.
cart of stuff.
Which was the Alupums.
Yes,
Wait, who was it before it was the Alupums?
exactly. There were stamped gold and silver ingots. Like we're talking.
Wait, that would imply that they found out about that. How did they find out about that?
Well, they knew we were the last ones to be seen with it. Remember, we were traveling on the road, so who knows if one of the people we passed they caught up with. They're like, oh yeah, I saw this, which is also maybe a good thing.
I can't wait.
That would make a
I
lot of
can't wait
sense.
to explain everything to you guys. I'm like
Maybe
chomping
we
at the
should
bit.
somehow
That would
figure
explain
out
it, actually.
these
It's why we
Blackguard have
try-
any tattoos.
Yeah, like. Well, that's why I wanted to make sure these people went to Lupum. Was like, what? So okay, we was seen carrying the Lupum's cot because we were trying to be good with it, and it turned out we weren't good with it because they associated us with not being good with it because we didn't know how to return it because we were trying to do a favor.
Oh, you know what it probably was? It was
Son of a gun.
the person we encountered on the road, and we said, "Hey, go back to your lava and tell Fern that we're in hot pursuit of his ring, and we need more time."
Yeah.
That's the most information.
But then we sent the ring back, though. That's the thing. Like, we closed that loop. But all the stuff that was in the wagon got stolen. We didn't steal it, but we did escort it. So I can see why they're mad at us.
Did we ever send the ring back?
Yes.
No,
Yeah, we
because
sent
the
it back
ring.
with a courier.
No, we got the ring. Oh, that's right, the private.
No,
so
I specifically told Sticky that he needed to send it. Otherwise, so this basically is my form of cooperation. So
Yeah.
So
that's right.
you guys would remember that Sturgis had one of his Modron transform into the ugliest
That's
gnome
right.
you've ever seen,
Right.
and
Mhm.
return the ring.
So yeah, plenty of people saw us on the road with contraband. The Blackguard would have preferred that we turned it into the Blackguard.
So the thing now is, do they know about Sturgis, or do they think we're still just common thieves rather than ancient relic plunderers?
Well, they have us associated with the Alupum, which is why they're calling us terrorists, even though we can show that we didn't never work for them. I don't know why they didn't believe that. This is why I'm hoping
Right,
they're being caught.
because in Dungeons and Dragons, there's no way to remove a tattoo.
No, there's no cantrips that do that.
What are you
No,
talking
but
about?
just ones to cover, and
Oh,
I have one of
Like,
those.
you can
But if
then
we were,
magically detect if I ever had tattoos. If you can magically take it off, you can magically find out if I
they
ever had it.
can cast detect magic and true seeing on us. I'm sure there's got to be. What kind of investigatory order would they be if they didn't have magic?
How did they know? Yeah. Oh well. We can speculate till the cows come home. We'll get an answer eventually.
I'm sure they're taking us north up to the.
Are we going north?
Once we get on the main
Where's the
road.
map?
We're not
I was
gonna
like,
we're not gonna delve that far into the journey until next
Okay.
session. So far, you're just following the path away from the Sawtooth towards the high road.
Okay.
Or the forest road, or whatever the road through the forest is.
Actually, I take it back. If you look at the bandit map,
I'm trying to find
they
it.
ran
Thank
into soldiers
you. I'm sorry, I should have.
that man the Ural Pass, not the Blackguard. So they're probably going to
Because
take
the
us
Blackguard
south.
Temple was, or the Blackguard Citadel was like way off to the northwest, wasn't it?
No, that's
No?
a small base camp run by Iranian soldiers serves to maintain the pathways and bridges, escort noble dignitaries through the pass, keep watch, blah 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 blah. But the Blackguard, from what I remember, that's farther south along the high road, right? Where the King's Road, the high road.
Oops.
Yeah, I unfortunately removed that page from the game, but in the Google Doc, you'd be able to see the main map.
I can see the world map. Like I can see your lava, the Cozy Cot, Fort
Yeah.
Dane.
Yeah, Fort Dane is the Blackguard's fort.
Yeah, so
Oh,
we're probably heading south.
Well, this might work out for the best. I didn't like working for somebody who was trying to do less than
Yeah, but
nice things anyway.
guilty until proven innocent right now, my friends.
Yeah, I'm concerned about that. Don't get me wrong. All the way south. Wow. Okay. Ugh, that's far.
I'm hoping that there aren't any nosy squirrels that go looking in odd places.
Who knows how long it'll be till we come back. I mean, you're right. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that does make sense. We can be like, oh, look, we know where you're all the gold and silver when we can bring you to the guy, and then we can have you turned in, and if that's what we need to do for our freedom, then so be it. How did I end up on the wrong side of the law? I'm just, well, this is kind of like,
Well, it's like,
concerned
how
that
did I
he's
get
been
here?
just like,
I've always done
how
my
did this happen?
best.
I've been trying to do the right thing. How did this is all, I'm losing faith in the system, gents, which I'm sure the two of you would
I look at them like,
appreciate.
this is how it's always worked. You just no
Yeah.
longer in there.
Well, I was inside before I was kicked out. I was trying to do people right this.
All right. So we're gonna end the stream.
That's fair.
Oh, this has been on the whole
having a
time.
crisis
Yeah,
of
no,
faith.
I've really enjoyed you guys chatting about the game. I wanted to make sure we captured that for the next session. But let's go ahead and end it now, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a pleasure. As always, I've been Jim, your GM, aka Skexxies, signing off. Everybody silently says goodbye.